Okay, I'm getting ready to replace the master cylinder on my 2003 Nissan Altima 2.5S, and this is from O'Reilly's. So you can bench bleed these, but I think I'm just gonna install it on the car and bleed it through the caliper. Alright, there's that. Alright, there's the old factory master cylinder, and there's the new one. So I think for starters I'm going to take this intake tube out just to give me a little more room. 2 clamps and then that clamp there. Just be easier to get in and out of there. Alright, making a little progress here. So I took the air tube out, and there's a bracket that went right here, a bunch of plugs, folded it over here, get as much room as possible. Got a little container there. So I took out the first brake line, and then I took the one of these rubber plugs out of the new one, and I'm just putting them into the old one as I go so we don't get fluid everywhere. So next I'll take that back bottom one off, same thing, and just keep going. Alright, I mentioned in the last video I did where I replaced the front brake lines to use these tubing wrenches. Always use these to break your lines loose and to tighten them, the final tightening. Now once you've got it, broken loose, then if you want to just go with a conventional wrench, because you get a little better range of motion with a regular wrench. It's just when you do the final tightening, you want to make sure to have the proper wrench, otherwise you're going to round the corners, and then if you ruin these, then you got to replace the whole brake line, and that's a big job. I mean, it goes clear over to the other side of the car, and it's a mess. So this is why it's important to get the proper tools to do this, because if you take a shortcut, you can turn an easier job into a really hard job. So anyway, I've got the 2 bottom lines off, and I've actually got the bolts off the booster, so I got 2 more lines to go, and I've already got them broken loose, so I just gotta get this done. Okay, so I got the old master cylinder out, and there's the plugs. I didn't plug the top one. So I didn't mention the reason why I'm replacing this. I've had trouble with the right caliper has been sticking, so of course I replaced the caliper. I even did rotors on it, new rotors, both sides, pads, and the caliper continues to drag, and I replaced the brake lines in that last video thinking that would fix it, and something in here must be hanging up. So this is the only thing left, so we're going to replace that. So we're going to put the new one in. And a shot of the brake booster. Okay. Alright, so I've already found my first problem with this O'Reilly replacement. This port on the front is angled. I don't know if you can see that. It's supposed to be straight up and down. The casting is actually angled. So I think I'm going to have to make it work, but down below there's a plastic hold down for the brake line. I think if I can get this line out of there and just pull it over, hopefully I can, either that or I'm going to have to rebend this. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Okay, I got the new master cylinder in. Had a few issues. First of all, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. Maybe I did. I think I did. The port here is angled. The original one was straight, so I had to use my I had to do a couple things. I had to use my tubing bender and bend it a little bit, and another thing I did was there's a, if I can get a shot of it, there was a plastic hold down right down there at the bottom where all those tubes come together. There was a plastic holder, and I had to take that off so I could get this line to move over. So I'm just gonna run it without that hold down. Okay, so that was the first issue. The other issue is they recommend bench bleeding these, which I didn't do, and so I ended up just having my assistant pump it up, and then I loosened up the fittings here and got the air bled out at the master cylinder, and then you got to bleed the rest of the system at the calipers, and that took quite a bit of time and a lot of air in the system. So anyway, I haven't taken it out for drive yet, but yeah, that's all for now.